doesn't pay to be on hand, does it? This means you go first. Yeah, just stand up.
Well, there's so many things involved with that, I feel like, but for me personally, it's been making sure that I have a great group of accountability people to encourage me daily, because when you have that, that really helps your organization of what you need to do, and especially when you're making time for getting the word and focusing on your walk, you have people to keep you accountable with. It's not only good to keep you going in the right direction, but also making sure you remember what you're supposed to be doing, and making time to get in the word and that sort of thing. So for me personally, it's really the support system with family and friends that's helped so much.
Thanks, Dan. Boy, girl. How about that?
So on a daily basis, my routine is I wake up and I have a daily devotion called Jesus Calling. And has anyone heard of Jesus Calling? It's such a good devotional book. And I'll read through that, and then there'll be scripture verses, about 3 to 4, and then I'll read the entire chapter of the Bible that coincides with those verses. And then I'll spend time praying, and I pray journal. Because earlier on in my walk with God, when I would pray, I would get distracted. I would be praying, and then all of a sudden I'd be thinking about an assortment of things that weren't prayer-related. So when I pray journal, it would be my way of talking to God, but writing. And that ended up keeping my mind focused on God in communication. And then I was able to be still and listen. And I think that's one thing with my walk, is being able to be still and listen and hearing God guide and direct what His purpose may be for that current day. And then I go through prayer and just praying for people's needs and seeking forgiveness and all of that sort of deal. That's what my day looks like.
On a practical level, after I do my devotion in the morning, I write a thank you note to God, and I spend a lot of time thanking Him so that I can get up with the right attitude of gratitude and love God in everything I do. It's a little easier for me because I'm an advocate for Jesus Christ in Hollywood. We do Movie Guide, we do the Christian Film and Television Commission, and we're always working with people. Jen was just at our house on Sunday night. We had some of the wealthiest people in Hollywood that were there, and people who need help. And so you're always ministering to people. And on Monday, I'll be ministering to one of the most famous producers in Hollywood. Tuesday, the same thing. People are always asking questions. And the answer, basically, is don't stoop to conquer. Don't try to bluff an insider. Try to be yourself. The reason that they want you in Hollywood is because who you are in Christ. They make movies for, my wife's Argentine, and so they make Spanish-American films, in Spanish, and they make movies. My son is in the Marine Corps there, so they make movies that are war films, but they also make great movies like the one Ben was in, courageous movies with faith and values. And they choose you for your faith and values. And Sony last year, the only division that made money was the faith and values division. So they need you to be yourself. Don't stoop to conquer.
I, like most people probably do, I have my time in every day where I have my devotional, and it's funny that you mentioned Jesus Calling because that's the one I use. And I do use it at home, and I also have a notebook where I write down my thoughts or whatnot. But one thing, if you are going to enter this industry, is you have to get used to always being on the road, constantly traveling. You may not have that downtime that you want. And a thing to be warned about is to save that time at night, because I personally get absolutely exhausted. I sleep wherever, whenever I can, and it's not very often, unfortunately. So it's important to do that time of the day. And in addition to traveling, I also bring my devotion with me, which has also led to many different times of witnessing to other people. They just ask, hey, what's that book about? Or what is that? And I've ran into many people who don't even, many models are from other countries. They just, this is foreign to them. So take any time you can so your personal time may be beneficial for someone else.
Yeah, I'm just a little disappointed that nobody said 7 things that God desires. It's just, I can't. What about you, Mr. Stone? What Truth, what about you? Tell me what you do, because I know he's the son of a preacher man.
Well, I'm not a gospel artist or a singer or songwriter that writes necessarily gospel music, so I'm not around a lot of Christian people. So the first way that I keep my faith is to share it, so that other people know that I don't do some things that they might do. So if I'm, in some area, they're like, oh, wait, you don't do that. So, I have to keep, I don't cuss, I don't, dance with girls the wrong way, So there's just certain boundaries that I set in my life that my friends know. It's good to have a verse that you refer to. Mine is 2 Timothy 3:16 and 17. And it says, all scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness, so that every man of God may be thoroughly equipped to do every good work. So, when somebody challenges the foundation of the law of God, which is the Bible, someone says, oh, somebody could have changed that, somebody could have did something else. Then I'll be like, well, all scripture is God breathed, so you can't say that some guy just wrote it down just because he thought that it sounded good. So that really helps me stay in the mindset that this is all for real. This isn't a joke, so I can't just be in the moment and say, oh, let me go drink and do this crazy stuff just because it makes me look good, because at the end of the day, I'm either going to heaven or hell, so, I just have to keep it grounded in a world of darkness.
All right, now, let me ask you, TC, what's the toughest thing you face? When you're working and everything's whirling around you, the scripture says the devil prowls around like a lion, watching someone to devour, and how do you keep an eye out for the devil? How do you spot him while he's prowling around out there?
Well, for me, it's real simple. You know how if you ever been in a car wreck and you make it out alive, and let's say you weren't wearing your seatbelt or you were texting or whatever you were doing, from that day forward, because you almost died, you probably won't do it anymore because you got a different perspective. For me, for the first question and for this question, it's all about the perspective that I have right now. The one fact of all the things that I'm ever chasing that I know will definitely happen is that I'm going to die. And when I die, I got to answer God for everything I've done. Knowing that that's a fact, it shapes everything that I do every single day. And I want to make sure that it has eternal value. So that perspective, always remembering that my life could end at any moment, is what I'm doing today, I honor God. And when I meet him, will he be proud of what I've done? And so that shapes everything I've done. So honestly, the devil doesn't really have a chance when you keep that kind of perspective. Just like you'll never text again, you'll never look the wrong way again because you don't want to die. Well, I don't want to die either. Spiritual death. So, keeping the right perspective makes me do the things of God pretty much every day of my life. So it's just all about the right perspective.